In this AppSynergy tutorial, we're going to briefly cover database triggers and stored procedures. Triggers are a very important part of AppSynergy and allow you to maintain centralized code in the database that operates regardless of which application or UI screen manipulates the data. This improves consistency and reliability while reducing the amount of code needed. Let's dive in and take a look at creating a trigger. Tools, database triggers. There's nothing there, so we're going to create one. So first off, the concept. A trigger is a piece of code that runs in the database when a particular database table is either has a record added, updated, or deleted. The most common types of triggers are update triggers, so let's start there first. The example we're going to use is sending the customer an email when their order status has changed. So in this case, we're going to give the trigger a name. We're going to call it order status changed. Triggers can fire either before update or after an update. Generally, you want it before an update occurs, and you need to pick the trigger. So this is going to fire once, meaning that this code is going to run once for every row that's changed in the orders table. So we'll begin by probably putting in an if-then statement. So there are code snippets here to make things a little easier with if-then, else, else-if. So let's just do something here. So we are going to only send an email when the order status has changed to shipped. So here we can change if the new column status equals and the old column status is not equal to shipped. New refers to the value of the newly changed row. Old refers to the value of the column prior to this update statement. So in this case, a particular order is running, and the new status, if it's shipped, and the old status is not shipped, then we want to do some code. So what do we want to do? There's another snippet here that says send email. So we can do code snippets and send email example. In this case, we need to put the declare statements at the top, and then we are going to create the email and send it. So here we're going to change this to your order has shipped. Then to actually send the email, we're going to insert a row into the hidden table called ParaSQL email out. This is all documented if you click on help. To address, subject, body, and whether it's an HTML format. So in this case, the to address is set to Joe at Acme. The subject is your order has shipped. And the body is the whatever markup HTML we decide to generate. And then this is just true or false. In this case, this is an HTML format, so we're saying it's true. Now, you probably want the email address associated with this order. Okay, so we've modified the code a little bit here. First thing we need to do is get the customer's email address, which is in the customers table, but this trigger is firing on the orders table. So we're going to, if we look at the customers table, we'll see that there's a column called email address that contains the customer's email address. And if you remember from the beginning tutorial, the orders table is linked to the customers table by customer ID. So we can select the email address into a variable. This is this email address variable from the customers table, where the customer ID in the customers table is equal to new.customer ID. This refers to the customer ID in the orders table. New and old always refer to the table that the trigger is firing on. So whatever the customer ID number is, for this particular order, 123, it's going to match that with the customer ID, grab their email address. And now we're going to build the body like we showed before, and then we're going to send it to that customer, subject, body, HTML. Of course, you could make this as complicated or as simple as you'd like, but that shows the basics of a database trigger. Again, they can fire before or after an update, and they can also fire when a record is added or a record is deleted. Enforcing security conditions, validating data. This is the guts, so to speak, of where your business logic should reside, not in your application. If you need to have complex application logic, it should be in the database in a trigger or stored procedure. If these are long or repetitive, you can break them out into stored procedures, which we will show you right now. The code is the same. You can create a stored routine. They come in two different flavors, functions and procedure. The procedure just does a bunch of work. A function works like a function in other programming languages where you pass it in values and it returns a value. The code is beyond the scope of this tutorial video, but it's a way to refactor your code so that you can have consistent routines that maybe are called from different triggers. That's it for this AppSynergy tutorial video. Please be sure to check out all the other tutorial videos available on our website.